a commission today, and I cannot wait to draw it with you guys. I also will probably be drawing some more random stuff after I finish my commission, but I thought that it would be fun to do it together. And I don't really know how to do multi-streaming yet, so we are really just gonna be seeing me in that mirror and seeing me draw right here. Just gonna move my little Lego figures right here. There we are. And I do have a reference photo over here. All right. So just pulling up my reference photo, I'm going to be drawing 2 dogs today, and they're going to be in the same picture. I'm still trying to figure out how this works. I'm getting a split view just so I can see you guys' comments and stuff. Let's see. Showing? There we go. Now I can see everything. Hello! Hi! How are you? It might be a little bit delayed simply because I am reading your comments through another screen. But yeah, we're going to be drawing a dog today. All right. So the first dog I'm starting with is I don't even know what this is. But I'm looking at both of these dogs. One is like kind of a Yorkie, and the other one, I have no idea what it is. But it's a white dog with a little bit of brown on it. And the first thing I do when I get 2 separate photos is I try to conceptualize. Hello, how are you? I try to conceptualize everything that's going on. So since I have both, I look at both of their poses and I try to see, what am I going to do here? Well, one of them is kind of leaning to the side like this. So we're going to put that one on this side of the paper. And I like to get a very, very light sketch. I will be going over these with Sharpie, specifically because that is the art style that I usually offer, and that is art style that is most requested of me. Hello, Nathan. How are you today? And we're just going to... I'm not sure what you're trying to say there, but... we are going to draw the basic shape like this for the first dog. And this dog has its ear kind of up, so I'm just drawing in the basic shapes of the dog's head. There we go. And the dog has a line right here, and we're just going to try to block in where the eyes are. And hello to everybody who is currently here. Welcome. We are doing some dog drawing today, as you guys can see. And I am currently drawing the first dog. And for everyone here, please remember to like and subscribe. We actually just hit 1,500 subscribers, which is an absolutely huge deal. That is an amazingly big deal. So thank you to everybody who has liked, subscribed, supported me in any way, shape, or form. I really do appreciate it, because you guys are taking time out of your day to watch me do whatever I do on here, which usually varies quite a bit. But we are doing the nose right here. And I don't know if it's hard for you guys to see, because I am left-handed, so I don't know if that is making a difference at all. but I am going to try periodically to move my hand out of the way so you guys can see what it is that I'm drawing. But the blocking in the shapes is usually the biggest part. And even though this dog looks like it has a big head, it kind of has a even larger body for it because the head is kind of small for the body. I don't know what that means. And yes, the drawing should be the focus, as Nathan did say, but this is the best camera setup I have currently. I have no way to get the drawing physically any closer. I am still working on getting a better camera setup and a multi-camera setup at some point. So we're going to be doing the other eye as well. Let me see if I can bring this down at all. Let's see, we're gonna make this, hopefully, there we go. Hopefully that shows the drawing a little bit more. And yeah, there's really no way I can decrease the exposure. I am just doing this on an iPhone. There we go. So as you can see, it is much larger. And we're just gonna get the ear in there. Make it nice and fluffy. And this dog's tail is kind of fluffing out at the top. So we're just gonna do the basic gesture of that tail and the body as well. Thank you so much for subscribing, Nathan. It means so much, and thank you. That is very sweet. All right, so we have the eyes going. A lot of you guys are from India. It's so interesting to me that maybe it's the time of day that I do lives. I don't know what time it is over there, but it's mid-afternoon where I am. Have a good sleep then. And we're gonna finish the nose. There we go. And that is the nose of the dog. So we're gonna go in with the body. And she has this little tag on. I'm gonna put that right there. It's actually pretty big for her size. I'm just gonna keep going around with it. And she also has these little cute little legs. So we're just gonna draw the basic shape of the legs and the paws. And I like to shape everything out beforehand. Kind of just give it what it needs. And the toes are kind of like cylinders on a dog. There's going to be 4 of them. Just like that. We're going to go in with the shadow sides. And when you do this with Sharpie eventually, you're going to have to focus a lot on the high contrast shadows and highlights. You really don't focus on the midtones at all. Let's make that tail a little smaller. All right, there we go. And we're bringing out some of the fluff in the face and bringing the ears a little higher. It's all about going really light at the beginning with pencil. And then you go in very dark with the Sharpie and then erase all the pencil lines at the end. So again, we are doing like cylinders. And 3 and 4. So that is the first dog right here, and we're going to put the second dog on this side of the page. All right, so We have a second dog. I'm not really quite sure what dog it is. I'm just gonna like kind of slide it over here so you guys can see. This is the dog. So I don't know what type of dog that is, but we're gonna put it in there. And this photo, this was the only photo she could get of the dog, which really is not the best photo to use, but we are going to use what we have in our knowledge of what dogs look like and try to work with it. So we know that this dog has a very round face, and we're going to kind of make it a little bit lower than the other dog. But we're going to make them very close together. And we know this one has a little bit more round of a snout with that little sad look on it. We know the nose is going to be up here. And this dog's going to have that floppy ears. And I am assuming that this dog is much shorter than the other one. So we're just going to kind of give its tail back here, and this dog has a little bit less of a fluffy tail. And we're just going to put the front legs in front so it matches the other one. There we go. Gonna get the body in right there. And it has this little fluffiness right there. And again, you really can't even see the eyes on this. And I usually like to try to have my clients give the best photos possible, but sometimes they don't really have it because this client was getting this for a friend and it was a surprise. So you can't really ask your friend for just photos of their dogs without them thinking, hey, something's up. And I fully appreciate that. However, it does make my job a tiny bit harder. So we're going in with the eyes right here. And I'm assuming these eyes are a little bit less up than the other ones. But they do have this like kind of coloration around them, along with the nose. How some white dogs have that. And the nostrils are a lot more upward facing and round. And that's kind of how you differentiate animals. You look at like their nose shape, their eye shape. Because to a lot of people, all animals that are like dogs or something may look the same or very similar, but they're not if you look close enough. And that's how you do like more than one pet in one portrait. It's kind of like people. When you first start out, you think, oh, everyone has an eyes, a nose, a mouth. I mean, for the most part, everyone has an eyes, nose, a mouth. But then when you start going in, you're like, oh, this person maybe has almond-shaped eyes or has a long nose or a short nose. And you just kind of build from there, and it really, really is the same with animals. So this puppy right here has a bit of shag on the front of the chin and quite floppy ears, like fluffy, shaggy ears, but also has a different shaped tag. And this tag is the shape of like a cartoon house, which is really just a triangle and a square. So we're going to block that in. And these tags are quite large for these dogs, but most of the fur will be blocking it. And we're going to put two kind of trapezoid shapes at the bottom for feet. And we're just going to continue bringing the fluffiness and the shagginess all the way down. We want these dogs to be at around the same place. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do kind of cylinders. There we go. We're going to bring them in and back out, and in and back out, and add some fluff there. Very good. Okay. So we have the two dogs, which I am super happy with how it turned out. So we've got this dog right here, which is the smaller one, and the taller one. And once we have that, we're going to take our Sharpie. We're going to go in with the largest, darkest parts of the image. And usually that's the eyes, the nose, the big shadows. So I'm going to go back to the picture of the first dog. And we're going to look at this picture together. So what I want to show you here is you have a large shadow above the eye right here. you have a shadow below the eye around this place of the face. This is a shadow, the eyes, the nose, and you also have shadows on the tops of the feet. And that's what we're going to focus on the most, as well as right here. So we are going to start with that. And I usually like to go in with a fine liner as well, and I think I may just go and find one really quick. So I'll be right back. I may actually have one in my drawer. Let's see. What color is this? This is brown. We have this pen. We have, this is a black pen. Sometimes I add colors into these, but it's not that often that I do. I usually leave them black and white, or I add one color if a client requests it. All right, there we go. All right, so we are back, and I'm going to test these pens out because I haven't used them in a while. I'm going to test them out on some of my weird cat drawings I have just to see if they work. So let's see. So yeah, as you can see, this pen does indeed work. So we are going to leave that there. And we're going to go in on the eyes because that is my favorite to do with the fine liner pencil. And we're just going to outline the entire eye. And we're going to make sure to very first block off the big space where the highlights are going to be. You do not want to mess with that. You can go in and refine it later, but as of right now, you don't want to mess with the space where the highlights go. So we're just going to color in that whole thing. And as where I got this pen, I honestly have no idea. I honestly found it on the floor of a college library like 5 years ago, so I could not tell you where to get it. And the Sharpies, you can get those anywhere. But that is the first eye. So you can see by leaving room for the highlight, it does lend itself to a lot more of realism. And we're going to go in and find all the shadows around the eye and kind of shape them out. So like there's one right there. There's a shadow above the eye. And it kind of encapsulates the rest of the face. So we're going to go a little bit on the ear as well, because that's where the shadow is. And this shadow for this dog goes a little bit around the eye too. And it stops right about there. So that is the whole shadow for right there. And we're just going to go in and we're going to fill this in. I really do enjoy doing these for clients because I don't get them very often, and I really, really love doing them. Like they're very relaxing to me, and they're usually of animals. I started out offering people portraits, but a lot of people wanted their pets done, so I started doing the pets as well. But they're one of my favorite things to do, especially in like the art realm, just because they're kind of meditative in a way. So as you can see, we are really going for that high contrast look here. And we're going to go in and we're going to basically find the shadows. That's what we're going to do. So this dog has a shadow at the base, not the base, at the very top of its head. And the shadows are right here. And I will be showing you guys what to do about midtones also in this drawing. Not yet, but midtones, I usually draw the shape kind of like this, and I leave it alone. I don't do anything to it. And that way, you let shape take the form of midtones instead of letting shade take the form of midtones. So around it, I'm going to actually draw a little bit of the shape, and that will take up what would be the shading of the face of the dog. We're actually going to bring this all the way up because I don't really like leaving things unfinished like that. So we have that so far of the dog's face. And then we're going to do the other eye. So we're going to go in, and dogs' eyes are usually very, very round. So definitely don't be afraid to make the dog's eyes round. And this is usually with cats as well. Although cats have a little bit more of an olive shape. And you're just going to color that in entirely, except for the part with the highlights. You want to leave that part alone. There we go. And as well for the midtones, if you want to do kind of like a darker little bit of midtone, you can actually draw the lines thicker. So I guess a good example of this would be right here, where right underneath this eye, there is a little bit of a darkness, but it's not super dark. You just outline your shape a little thicker than you would normally. And that kind of helps create those midtones that we want, because there's a lot of juicy midtones in this picture. And with that, we are actually going to move to the nose after I get this piece in. These drawings really are just play as you go. There really is no amount of planning you can really do to make it turn out better or worse. So we are going to go into the nose. And we are going to just do the top shape just like that. And we're going to go in where the nostril shapes are and do that as well. There we go. And this dog kind of has like a bump on its nose, and we're just gonna kind of shade that in its entirety. So I remember that I did promise everybody that when I hit 1,500, I would go on a trip. So if anyone has any guesses, I would love to hear them. I have already picked the place, but I want to see if you guys can guess where it is. When I hit 500 and 1,000, we also did guessing, and nobody got it right then. So I'm very curious to see if people are going to get it right this time. Just going to go around the nose as well. There we go. Okay. And that's the nose so far. We're also going to take this dark shadow part right here, and that's going to be filled in its entirety as well. So we're going to take the Sharpie and fill it in. This dog on the photo looks so happy. I don't have a dog, but most of my pet portraits are requests for dogs. I have had a few cats. I have not yet had a bird, and that's disappointing to me because I really would love to do a bird as one of these. I think that it would be very cool to do. So now that we have that, we're going to go in with just like this and kind of map out where we want the midtones to be. And the midtones are just going to be thick line shapes, not thin line shapes. And you can kind of start to see the face get together just like this. So the dog has that, and also has this like little divot on the top of its snout which I really like. I think it's very unique. I also think that these little lines right here are pretty unique. This dog does have the lines from the snout to the eyes. There we go. And that's what it looks like so far. Let's see, we are going to go in with the fluff on the ears. And yeah, these really are not like the most high-res pictures. I think after this one, I think I am going to request that clients send in pictures that are a little bit more detailed and maybe a few angles just so I can like understand the animal a lot better. But we're going in on the fluff. And we're going to be alternating between thin lines, thick lines, and just filling it in its entirety. And you can actually do thin and thick lines on the exact same part like this, where you can make the divots thicker or the other parts. It really is about line weight. That's kind of what these are all an exercise in, is learning how to use line weight. There we go. So the ears are starting to come together, and the ears do this weird swoopy thing at the bottom. And we're just going to kind of fill in the general shape of the ear. We don't need anything too crazy or precise right now. We just want to get that general shape in. There we go. So that is the general shape of the ear. And then the tail kind of connects to it, but the tail has this dark spot, like this like dark shaded area. So I'm just going to leave that. That's going to be the darkest area. There's a little area on top that's also pretty dark. And then we're going to just add the little wispy tail bits. Because the rest of the tail is a lot lighter. We are also going to add the ear in because we do not want it to be cut off by the tail. So I'm going to add the majority of where the ear is, as well as these little straggler fluffy bits that are on the face. We want to add those in as well. There we go. Perfect. And you can make these lines as smooth or as rigid as you want. We're going to be connecting the jaw to the rest of it. And like most dogs, this dog has that that little lip thing that they have going on. So it's not just like a hole in between the lines. It is actually, this dog has like black gums. All right, and that would be right there. So we are going to, let's see, going to add another shape right here. And I've learned that there's a balance between adding in too many shapes and not adding enough shapes. You really want to strike a nice balance between the two because you don't want it to get too busy, but at the same time, you really don't want it to look empty either. So this dog has some shadows on the end, so we are actually going to outline that. And then add in more on the ears. There we go. Okay. I hope that I get to do more of these fairly soon. I honestly haven't done one in about over half a year now. And this lady has gotten quite a few of them from me. I think she probably has gotten at least half of the ones I've done in total, which I am so grateful. She is like the person keeping my art career alive. And I basically have her to thank for that, and everyone else who has supported me, but she has been one of my biggest supporters since day one. She's known my mom for quite a few years. Probably almost as long as I've been alive, but we're going to add in some more mid-tone shapes. And some of these are very shape heavy and some are not. Some are very line heavy, some are shape heavy. There we go. Okay, so we have that going. We're going to start adding in the fur on the body. And this doesn't have to be precise either because we are just going to be changing up the lines as we go. So right here, this is going to be a definite dark part of the dog. And it's always nice to find those because they don't always happen. But we're working around the tag. And we're just kind of fanning it out. There we go. This dog does have like a white patch on its belly, so we're going to add that in. As well as having some shading on its paws. And you can see that these parts are going to be filled in entirely, and then the rest of it there we go. And they always have like this little hidden toe as well. So we're going to add that in. There we go. Very nice. And we're going to add in this little piece of what I would think is shadowed fur. There's quite a few shadows in this. Which is good. You like it to be like that. I'm going to add a few of the shadows right here. And the very, very small section of shadow right there. All right, so that dog has all of its base shapes in, which is good. So we're actually going to take our Sharpie. I'm actually going to test this one out too, because I don't know if it works. Haven't seen it, but we're going to try it out. We're going to try, oh, that works very well. And if anyone's wondering where I got this reference, I just looked up like random cats on Pinterest. There we go. So yeah, this one works phenomenally. So we're gonna go in and start using this one. And I am using mixed media paper because when you use markers like this, it does tend to bleed and you really don't want that. Because then you ruin the next sheet of paper and you basically have to use 2 sheets of paper for one drawing. But this one colors it in nice and quick and smooth. So we're going to go in and do the same thing over here. We're going to put the shadow of the collar tag and outline the collar as well. I want the collar to be more defined. And I'm actually going to fill this in as well. We're going to, let's see, we're going to fill this in up here because we did say that that was going to be a very large shadow. And sometimes I like to make my shadows connect with curving lines. Sometimes I like to just leave them alone. It really depends on what I feel like the drawing is calling for. Like I said, this stuff is super meditative. This is a really good marker. I think that this is a Bic marker instead of a Sharpie. But any like black ink marker will work perfectly fine for these. So let's see, we're gonna have, it has like this little shadow up here. And sometimes I outline them as well. We're gonna color that in. And yeah, we're gonna color in some of these midtones because I feel like they need to be a little darker. And then we can just add more midtones where they actually belong. And you can always go back with the line pen and refine these because sometimes it doesn't get as sharp as you hope for. So you can always go back over it. And we're going to go over here. There we go. And adding in some more. All right. So I have in some of my biggest shadows, so I'm going to leave that be for now, and we're going to come back to it. We are going to move on to dog number 2. This dog, we are going to start immediately on some of these. We're just going to outline it. And we're going to find out where the shadows are. So we do have a shadow on the top of the nose, which seems to be pretty common with a lot of dogs. We're also going to get some of that fluff in. And this dog has kind of hidden eyes, and by kind of I mean I can't even see them really in this, but I'm going to imagine what I think they would look like. And I feel like this dog, instead of a lot of reflections, probably has really large pupils. Also reflections, but I feel like this dog has some large pupils with varying degrees of, there we go. Like I feel like it's one of those dogs that has brown eyes. We're going to add the other eye. I always find these types of dogs so funny. I don't know why, but they're never unfriendly or anything. They just are comical looking to me. And no offense to anyone who has these. Like, I'd mean that in a nice way. So these dogs have kind of like brown above their eyes. So we're just going to outline where that would be. And they have like this like second tuft of fur. And as you can see, I did 2 different methods to try to build these up. They both will look very similar in the end, but I'm starting and doing the entire line work first. And this dog seems to have like an actual lip, as well as some hair right here. I feel like the more I draw it, the more you guys will get a better idea of what type of dog this is, because I don't know the name at all. All right, so we have that. And we're going to do the house key tag. There we go. Has some like messy fur right here, as well as like this like little pouty mood of a frowny face. These dogs kind of always look like they've been eating ice cream or something. Like, I don't think it's a Westie, but it's something in that family. Something Westie adjacent. Kind of looks like the Lorax, in my opinion. I don't know if it really does, or if that's just like me kind of seeing it. But I feel like this dog looks a little bit like the Lorax. And it has this spot up here, which is going to be darker. All right, I'm gonna zoom out on that, just so I can get an idea of the tail. It's so weird because the dog's tail is so much sleeker than the face. The face is very fluffy and the tail is just sleek. We're gonna draw all the fur. Let's see. Got some more fur right here and right here. All right. I'm gonna do some more fur down here. And with these dogs, it's kind of hard to differentiate the face from the body. We've got these little toes. As well as some fluff going on over here. And since I can't really see the dog's body in the reference photo, I'm just putting fur where I think it makes sense. And you can do that in drawing. There's a lot of guesswork to try to trick the eyes into thinking that something is what it is. You don't want to rely on that too much, though. You definitely do want to get good references and try to draw from life as much as possible, just so you learn what the shapes are. It's very important to do that. All right, so I feel like it needs some more fluff this way. Thankfully, though, this is not a realistic drawing, so I don't have to do that. We're adding in the toes. Got that secret toe that dog's got. Okay, so we have both on there. Now we are going to go in and start thickening up lines. All right. So we are going to find where the lines are, and there is a line right here. And we're just going to start filling them in. We are also going to be double lining anything that is like that brown fur. This one is very big, so I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum with this one because it just like floods the page immediately. But I do think it was good for this. So we're going to stick to the other ones. I have not tried out this pen yet. I'm curious though. I want to see what type of pen we are looking at here. So these are just some practice drawings. Is it a metallic? It writes very smoothly. I will give it that. But I can't tell if it's a metallic or not. But it works pretty well in my opinion. So we're going to go with it for some of this lighter brown stuff. We're going to leave a little line above the eye because we don't want people to get confused. I may go back and fill that in later. Yeah, I think this might be a gunmetal gray. It's kind of what I'm seeing from it, which could be very cool to add in. I usually don't. I usually do not add in any sort of gray, but I'm curious. I'm very curious. So we're going to add some in. There we go. I did start working on filming a video for you guys last night. It is a special one. I have a special guest on, which should be fun. Is it running out already? Okay, this pen is running out already. That's lovely. But I'm going to be having a very special guest on. I feel like people will probably be able to guess who it is. Maybe not. Depends how long you've been on the channel. Okay, so we have most of the eyes colored. This dog has some nostrils that are very dark, so we're going to fill that in. Going to fill in that little frown that the dog has. I don't think it's actually sad. I think it's just frowning. Just for the sake of frowning. All right. And then there's like this other part on the ear. I do want to differentiate these, so I am going to outline them. There we go. And we're going to bring some of that outline down here. We don't have to do all of it like that, but it's nice to do sometimes. There we go. Okay. don't see, so I'm looking, and I think I'm gonna put the shadow on the bottom of where the house is, just to kind of match the two photos together and get a light direction that is together. So this is what we have so far. Oh my god, it's already been 50 minutes. I cannot believe that. Sometimes I feel like it's only been like 10 minutes. I really get into it when I'm drawing, and it feels like time just flies by a lot quicker than I think. So we've got the dog's head. We're gonna fill that in. This dog has a lot less contrast, but we want to kind of bring the contrast up just a little. There we go. And we're gonna try to see where the light falls. So I'm seeing the light on the other dog falling in a specific way, and we're gonna try to match that because we want these dogs to look like they coexist in the same world. It's the same thing when you do kind of like photoshopping. You want everything to look cohesive, or else it just kind of doesn't really look real at all. And I'm just going over everything with the outline. I am going to look at the other photo for reference of shadow, because we do want to give these dogs some sort of shadow. And I am going to be using this one for that. So when I'm looking at the other reference photo, I'm seeing the shadows are pointing in this direction, and that's where we're going to take them. So we're going to take this, and we're just going to bring the shadow all the way over here. And bring the shadow like that. There we go. And we can bring this all the way to the edge of the page. And this should help give it a bit of contrast. There we go. I would be excited to do more people in the future, just because I haven't done people in this style in quite a while. I may actually do one as kind of a cool down after this. I do like to draw a little bit longer than just my commissions. I like to do like a little drawing after. That probably seems like a lot more work than it has to be, and it is, but I really don't mind. I want to raise that up because this is going a little bit higher. There we go. And I'm rounding out the shadows to kind of bring the style together. And this will help explain a lot of the synchronicities in these. So we are outlining everything and bringing them together. But yeah, I have a very special video coming up, and I have like 30 more ideas. And my channel isn't like always makeup based. It really seems to be these days, but that is not the case. That is just how I've been feeling lately. There's going to be a lot of other types of videos on this channel as well. I fully promise that. But if you guys want to see more of my drawing as well, please let me know, because that is definitely something that I can make happen. Alright, so we have some of these shadows, and we still need to get the one for the other leg. And this is how the shadow looks in the photo, so this is how we are going to do it. nice. And this side of the face feels kind of empty, but this also feels a little empty. And we're going to take the Sharpie and kind of fill it in because this is way too sharp. I wish I had some of those fine tip Sharpies. I used to. I've moved like 5 times since. So I do not currently have the fine tip Sharpies, but when I get them, it will help me create even more of like precise shadows and stuff. And that's what we want. We want it to be precise. So I'm going to be zooming in back on the first dog's head again, just to kind of figure out if there's anything I'm missing. And this is a multi-layer process. These are ever rarely just one pass over and then they're done. You kind of have to go over them quite a few times just to make sure that you're getting all of the details that you really want out of it. And I feel like I am getting the details that I want. There we go. You can see that right there. We're gonna put like a little bit of a bubble around this eye. Just kind of like shield it. A little right there. And this dog has right there. So we're just gonna put that there and put a shape on the other side as well. That's what it's gonna look like so far. Sometimes I do get carried away with these, but I don't feel like I'm to that point yet. I feel like it still is mostly appropriate for the image. All right. And my favorite, well, also least favorite thing that I can do on these is the erasing at the end. I don't like doing it, but at the same time, it's very satisfying because sometimes it like ruins and smudges the marker, but it also reveals a finished work, which that's my favorite part, to see what is like uncovered at the end. Because each one is very different. So we've got that going. And I think that this is gray. I'm going to test it out because it might be silver. What should we test it out on? Test it out on something I don't really care about. Let's see. Is it silver or gray? That is, I'm pretty sure it's gray. Yeah, that's gray. Okay. I kind of want to do gray on this. I feel like it would look good. But this is not the time to experiment. I can experiment after with you guys, but this is a commission, so I need to kind of stick to the plan as much as possible. Like I'm already going a little bit out of the lane of what my clients are used to by using this gunmetal gray, and it seems to be empty, even though it is mostly full. So maybe I do have to do it a little bit. But I'm just gonna put it on these 2 spots because I already have like a dark gray over here. I don't know, I like how it looks though. They're just gonna have to trust me. I feel like she does trust me though, because she's ordered quite a few and I have taken a lot of creative liberties prior. So we're gonna keep taking those creative liberties. And if she doesn't like it, I can always do another one. I have no problem with that. All right. And we've got right here. It's always the darkest part, so we're going to fill that in on both dogs. Yeah, I feel like this is actually adding quite a bit more to it than what it was having before. That's good though, you want that. We're gonna look at the toes of the dog. And they kind of do this like weird like ombre thing right there. Yeah, there we go. I'm still trying to keep consistent with the style. But this is actually the first time I have tried adding gray into this. I'm very pleased with it. Very pleased with how it's turning out. I did not expect it to go this well with the gray. Hopefully my client feels the exact same way. And if this does end up being a hit, I will be doing this with as many of them as I can get away with. We are going to go around the eyes. Kind of reinforce some of that. Because we want it to be more colors, but at the same time, we also want it to make sure that everything is how it's supposed to be as well. All right, so that is the eye. I'm going to do it just like that. And still adding in dark spots. I also thought about making a few A through F tier videos. I have a few in mind that I think would be really good. There we go. But yeah, I'm liking it so far. This is what it looks like. I think that the gray has added quite a bit. That's a new discovery and I'm sticking with it now. I think I want to do like a human portrait after this. I will probably stay on and do that as well. All right. There we go. Get some of these little spiky hair. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop. And the funniest thing I think about all these pet portraits is these pets never know they've been drawn. They don't even have the concept of what having a drawing made of them is, and I love that. Like, they don't even have a concept of probably art. Maybe they do. But I have never met a dog that seems to understand the concept of art. All right. just going to fill the entirety of this in. And then, of course, now that we know that it works, we're going to go in with some gray. Yeah, I've been doing these types of drawings since early high school, so the fact that today I made a new step that's actually going to take it forward, which that only seems to happen like once every few years, where I change this style even a little bit. The fact that that happened on live is amazing, because you guys got to witness me permanently change my art style just a little bit. So that is what we got for these dogs so far. Let's put on some more shadows over here. I'm actually going to add some all the way around. And I may go back to not doing this, but I really like how it looks. So time will have to tell. Time will have to tell. These used to not even have nearly as much detail as they have now. When I first started doing these, it was one line. Very simple. It was, you couldn't mess it up. They didn't really represent any likeness at all. They didn't really represent any likeness though. That was the problem, and that's why I switched. I have a feeling the murder hornets are back, and I am not excited about it. I keep hearing a little thunk on the window, and I'm kind of terrified right now of them. They were supposed to be here in August, so I thought I had time to prepare. But I think they're here now, in early May. I still am, like, shocked that it's already May. Alright. So by the end of the week, I should hopefully have my streaming set up for Minecraft and other video games and stuff like that. I'm going to probably be doing a makeup stream every week, a drawing stream, and a gaming stream. So I'll probably do like 3 live streams a week. I may do more, I might do less, probably not. But I've found quite a love for live streaming, so definitely would like to keep doing it. So every once in a while, you just want to take a step back from it and just look and see if what you've done is something you like. And so far, for me, I like this. I think it looks cool. So I'm going to keep going with it. There we go. I'm going to add some more lines. And you can just keep adding more weight to these lines as well. All right, there we go. going to outline the paws because we don't want it to be not outlined. Alright, there we go. Beautiful. Alright, so we have most of it just completely outlined. And now the fun part is getting to pick all the gray spots. And before I do that, I'm actually going to go over this with an eraser. Just erasing everything. Thank you so much. I saw it in one of my friend's streams. She was doing a Roblox stream, and I saw that she had her computer with a little mirror right above it. How are you doing today? I really like your name. There we go. All right. So the pencil is erased. Now we can go in and add the rest of the silver stuff. Boop, 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 boop. I think that she'll like it, but I think that the person that she's giving it to is probably going to like it even more, and that's the important part. There we go. But yeah, I'm very surprised that nobody has guessed it yet. I would love to hopefully have somebody guess it correctly, but I don't think anyone's gonna guess. Which is okay, because thankfully you guys will have more opportunities in the future. But we are just filling in these little pieces just where it feels right. It really is a matter of feeling here. This is not going for exactness. We're going on vibes alone. There we go. We're gonna add the other dog's shadow right here. I really do want it to look like they know each other, which they do, but I want it to look like they're in the same room and in the same photo. I'm gonna make this collar gray. We're going to outline this shadow on the ear. And sometimes you just like to stand up and just like get a good look at what you got going on. And I'm feeling pretty happy with it. I really am. I'm feeling pretty good about it. All right, let's see. Actually gonna fill in this entire thing right here. There we go. Filling it in and outlining it. I'm also going to outline the shadows as well. It needs something else. And I think that's what we're working with right now. Yeah. All right, so then you just gotta sign it. And that is the drawing. And now I'm gonna work on one of my little ones. Let's do this one. Yeah. Could either do pens or I could do something else. And I'm using some highlighters for this one. I have not used highlighters and gel pens in a very long time. So we're gonna see. This pen does not work. Let's try this one. Also does not work. Let's try this one. Yes, it does work. It does work. Good. So I made these drawings of cats quite a long time ago. Quite a long time ago. There we are. And we're going to add in for the highlights, as well as where the iris goes. And we're just going to follow the fur directionally. And while we do this, we're actually going to continue adding different colors in. So we're going to do some purple as well, if it comes out, which it does. That's good. There we go. And we're just going to keep building these lighter inside of the eye. And then we're going to go in with another highlighter. There we are. So that's the eye so far. And we're going to take this, which hopefully it works. Does it? Man, these pens don't work at all. It's good to know. And we're going to do part of the cat in a different highlighter. And we're going to be very careful not to blend them. And then we're going to do a different part of the cat in a third highlighter color. I think my highlighter is running out. Let me see. I have a second one, which is apparently a lot more hot pink than the first. Let's make the tongue here hot pink. And that. Yeah. Yeah, I don't work with highlighters too often. When I was really little, I used to almost exclusively use them because that's what was in my dad's office. So whenever I went there, I would just use the highlighters and probably too many pieces of printer paper. And I used to draw suns and opera singing snowmen and all sorts of things. I honestly wish I knew where those drawings were, so then I could try to recreate them, but I don't know where they are at all. So I wanted to do orange, but I don't think I have an orange highlighter. Yes, I do. I do have an orange highlighter. All right, so we're going to do the last section orange. All right. And the orange highlighters always disappoint me just a little bit because I always feel like they're going to be much more vibrant. And then they just end up being kind of sucky. Like, this is like a pumpkin orange. This isn't neon orange. Maybe it's just the brand of highlighter I got, but it doesn't feel vibrant enough to me. Like, I want the orange to be as bright as the yellow or the pink. I just feel like they're inconsistent among brands, which, you know, I mean, that happens with paint too. It happens with colored pencils. I'm sure everyone has felt the agony of using crayons and then finding out that they were RoseArt crayons. I think I'm going to try to use RoseArt crayons for something. They've got to be good for something. So this marker does not want to seem to carry on, even though it really should. I'm just going to keep trying, and hopefully it decides to keep juicing up. Or I'm just going to take this and make orange, I guess. I guess that's the best thing I can do here. Because that marker is like almost dead. And so is this one. So maybe I can make orange. Alright. So I don't think that this is working very well. But at least when I go over it with orange, it should work a little better. Yeah, it's not gonna do what I want it to do. That's okay though. So we are going to start going over everything. And I'm just gonna use like directional lines. So the orange is gonna get yellow, orange, red. And I don't think any of these pens are working at all. I think I got them for like my 16th birthday. I am now 24. So I've had them for quite a while because I remember bringing these on like family vacations and stuff. So I'm not too surprised that they don't really work as they should anymore. But that just helps tell me which ones are no longer good. And that's something you need to know as an artist. So we're going to try this one out. We're going to see if this one works. This one does not. I'm starting like a pile over here. There we go. Okay, I think this one works. So we're actually going to bring it onto the yellow as well. That's good. All right. That is what we want to see. So for that, we've got this, and then let's try this one. I have not tried this one yet. And it doesn't want to do either. Maybe they dried out. Let's try this one. I think this is gold. And it works very well. Like, I think that this is a gold one. There we go. Let me see if I have any more in here. Any more pens? I think it came in like a pack of like 100 or something. There were quite honestly a few in there. Like quite a few. Got more of these. I'm just pulling everything out of here. Seeing what I can use and what I have. Okay, so we have this lighter blue. Let's try that. That's nice. That's gonna look nice. We're gonna shade the eye with it a little bit too. If it works again. It is not working. Okay. These pencils are more and more frequently upsetting to me. I don't like it at all. But yeah, we are just drawing a cat with mixed media and probably going to put a very trippy background. I'm not sure of what yet, but we are just creating a neon cat so far. I'm going to go in on the tongue with this. I'm wondering if it's the highlighters that's causing the issue. Like the highlighter underneath the ink, maybe. Because these pens just don't want to do. I'm wondering if I caused a problem of some sort. But this one is being a champ. This one is like being an absolute champ. All right. There we go. Gonna get that bright orange in there to blend in with the red. And I'm also gonna take this Sharpie. And we are going to make the pupils black. There we go. Yeah, I think it might actually be the highlighters that's doing it. I think that might be what's causing it. Because it does not like it at all. Yeah, this is what we have so far. A very cool trippy cat. We're just going to switch that right over to green, see if that works. I'm going to kind of blend them together, but we don't want to blend them too much. Gary. How are you? We are drawing some cats today. There we go. And we're gonna like blend this a little bit. I feel like it needs to be blended just a tiny bit. We're gonna go back here because I want the inside of the ear to be purple, but like a pink purple. Yeah, what is everyone up to today? Because I have had a really good day so far. Most of my day has been spent doing a lot of different artistic things, including this, but not limited to it. And I'm going to be breaking a major rule here, but I am going to be putting, there we go. It's not really a major rule. It is your birthday tomorrow. Well, happy early birthday. I hope that you have a wonderful day and enjoy it. All right. I think maybe you might want to give your phone back then. And we're just going to blend that in a little bit. And we're just going to keep blending. Let's see if this does. Oh, that's quite dark. Okay. So I'm actually going to use this to refine the eye a little bit. There we go. I want it to be looking nice and spiffy. And I think we're gonna add in a little bit of orange. I don't know how we're going to make the orange section look better, but we'll figure something out. Maybe with a darker orange marker. Yeah, that should work. Hi, Taylor. How are you? Are you having a good day so far? That's awesome. We've been drawing some cats and some dogs. This is the first cat that we're drawing. And I don't know if we're going to draw more cats today, but this is the first one. Thank you so much. All right. And I think I might start doing a drawing live once a week. I usually do a makeup live, a gaming live, and I think I might do a drawing one now. I don't know though. I have to see if people like this. I like it. I think it's pretty fun to do. Let's see, do I have another orange? I have a few more orange markers in here. We're going to do this one. And we're just going to keep building on it because this orange highlighter was really bad. And we're also going to need to fill in the pink section of it as well. Pink section needs some work for sure. I'm doing good. How are you? All right. Do I have anything else? Let's see. We're going to do some red on there, probably. I think so. Yeah, these markers are super finicky. Yeah, because I did get them when I was in high school, but that was quite a while ago. I already did a dog earlier. That was like probably the first 2/3 of this live stream, but I might do another one next week. All right, so we're going to do the background as well. We're going to do it with this one right here. All right. And we're just outlining. What's my name? I want you to take a really good look at my at what my YouTube name is and guess. You too. I hope that you have a wonderful day. All right, so we're just gonna keep adding in some more lines. Doop, doop. And I'm kind of thickening up all the lines, kind of like making like a little sun type thing, but we're gonna be adding in a lot of background stuff into it. It's just gonna get so complicated that the cat in the front is gonna look simple. There we go. All right, so then we're gonna go in with a smaller one. And I'm gonna start just adding stuff in. I have a craving to go to an aquarium. I want to go to an aquarium so bad right now. I want to see the fish. I want to be amongst the fish, but I am here instead. But hopefully I can go to an aquarium sometime soon. All right, so we got that one done. And I think I want to do something wavy on this one. And then maybe like, kind of like little curved lines right here. Boop, 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 boop. So we've got some different designs going on. We've got some stripes right here. And let's see, what else should we put? Yeah, I do think that probably on Friday I'm going to do a Minecraft stream. That is the goal. I don't know if I will have any guests on or not. It may just be me. It really depends. Let's see, so we're going to do some figure 8 type things. Kind of looks like a zipper. And let's see, we could do some scales on this one. Boop, 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 boop. I also did put a poll on my posts if people wanted to see another Minecraft makeup look or an Office Siren makeup look. So if you guys have any input, I would love to hear it. All right. And let's do some of that. There we go. And let's do some like straight lines across. Just like that. And then some little dashes. So we've got those lines covered. Now we're going to add even more into it. All right. So I think for some of them, I want to do it with a smaller thing first. Let's see, I actually, I am starting, and you guys can see this because I have to do this. All right, I just added a poll to the chat, to the entire thing. So hopefully you guys answer, because I'm excited about that. All right, we're going to do some waves up here. You guys want me to sing happy birthday? Wait, you guys want me to sing happy birthday to Gary? Is that your dad? All right, so we have that. Let's see, what else? Gonna add some zigzags. There we go. Add some more zigzags. And let's see. All right, guys, should I sing happy birthday to Gary? What do you think? Should we do it? All right. There we go. We're gonna sing happy birthday. I don't know if... Okay. Okay, I will sing happy birthday to Gary. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gary. Happy birthday to you. I hope that you have a great birthday. All right, we're going to add in these hearts. Let's see. So we have quite a bit of a background going on. Let's see. We got hearts. I think I'm going to do some sort of checkerboard pattern. All right, one more time. I hope you guys are subscribed. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brooklyn. Happy birthday to you. I think this video is probably gonna be like 10 more minutes. It really depends. But you don't have to stay the whole time. That's the good thing about these. People can pop in and out whenever they want. Of course. All right, so get most of the background. There we go. Beep, 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 beep. And we've almost got all the background in. Let's see, I'm gonna do probably like some of these. Just kind of circles taking up everywhere. And let's see. What else should I put? I think I'm gonna put some like squiggly looking things in here. Do, 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 do. And also we're gonna put, I think like some triangle shapes. Let's see, so the votes so far are more Minecraft, which I think people voted on my poll earlier. I think one person voted on my actual poll on my YouTube for more Minecraft. So I think that's the way it's looking so far. We may just have to do more Minecraft. All right, there we go. And let's see. I think starting there. And let's see. Perfect. So this is the cat. Wait, no, it needs some whiskers. All right. That is the cat. And you guys can see. And I think that this is going to conclude our live for today. So hopefully I will see you on, I will be posting a new video on Wednesday. So please go watch it. It was super fun to make and I really would appreciate the support. Hopefully we can hit 2,000 subscribers soon. I would be so grateful for that. But watch that, and then I will be back either on Wednesday evening or Friday, and we will have another live. All right, my friends, I will see you next time. Bye.